Hi everyone, I hope you're having a good day today. Today I am presenting an IDT meeting with the Solstice Medical Group based on a patient review meeting and the decline of patients and new patients being admitted into their hospice company. Their hospice company is a home health company where they have many of their staff members come and visit the patients at the home or in skilled nursing facilities or assisted living facilities. Within the skilled nursing facilities and assisted living, they do communicate with the staff that already is working there, so they don't have to send out their staff to go in and check on them. With the diagnoses that they do deal with, it is a lot of dementia, heart failure, failure to thrive, pulmonary fibrosis, lung disease, brain disease, and many more diagnoses. During the meeting, the staff that was involved was Dr. Kevin Shetter, who is the primary doctor for all the patients involved in the meeting today. Carrie Hans is cameraman, who is the chaplain. Madison Hatch is the social worker. Chris Beck and Sean Boyle, who are the registered nurses. Clover and Puff, who visited the patients weekly to sit and be in their company, and the aides that are involved in the conversation of the meeting. The aides did not attend the meeting, but I felt to include them because they were talked highly in the meeting when it came to their care plan. There was a nurse that could not attend the meeting, but the nurses that did attend the meeting spoke on their behalf. Garrett as well, who I was emailing to be involved in this meeting, also did not attend due to personal reasons, and Kelly took the role as being a host and was very welcoming. She also did her part in sharing the itinerary for the meeting, which I thought was very thoughtful and making me feel included. So just the objectives and overall main points that was brought up during the meeting was new patients qualifying for hospice and the limitations that are being held back before introducing them as a new patient. The cognitive and physical health declines in the existing patients. There were some improvements of the patients that they have talked about, and they questioned whether or not they still qualified for hospice and made a plan to look into it further, as well as decline in care plans and not having certain things being charted on patients. There was also alternative therapies other than drug therapy that was talked about, and a change in the medication is what was really being expressed during this meeting. The meeting did last about an hour and a half long. They made sure that care plans are accurate and wanted to focus on continuing making the note of active problems that have happened in the last few months and removing resolved problems to stay on track and focus on the problem of hand. They were really trying to make sure that they weren't bringing up previous problems that have already been talked about in previous meetings. So to start, I thought about putting this in here because at the start of every meeting, they always do a spirit of thought by Carrie, and that was the world could always use more kindness. It was a great start to the meeting, and it took a deeper dive into the holidays and the meaning behind their company and how much work they do, and just a daily reminder to be more thoughtful in the kind of care that they are giving, as well as just a kind of reminder to always just be kind to others. With the meeting, they did start off with a patient death and express their condolences and thoughtful memories from that patient. Some expressed that the patient was agitated with the female staff, and some had minimal connections. There was also someone else who pointed out that the patient loved dark chocolate, and I really thought it was a sweet moment to recognize the lost patient. After that, they spent the time going over their patient list and the main points that were given in each of them. They had some patients that were spending over 20 hours in bed due to safety risks and not wanting to get help out of bed, as well as the need for more help with aids, ambulating, which is walking, showering, eating, transferring, dressing, and more. They increased a few patients' medications like Seroquel to help with agitation in the mornings, as well as sundowning, which is just an increase in confusion during the evening time when the sun is going down. They had many falls from patients and needed to reiterate to staff and patient families about the safety awareness and the need for them to help assist the patient, and the patient was also involved in the conversation as well, which I thought was a great way to show that you really are including everyone involved in the care plan. There was also an increase in oxygen for some patients with lung disease and even dementia, and they provided the use of a BiPAP, which is just a technology used to help sleep at night that provides more oxygen. People with sleep apnea also tend to use a BiPAP because they have trouble breathing while they are sleeping. They also increased weekly visits with the aides on some of the patients due to decline of physical health, as well as the fact that primary caregivers have been expressing the burnout feeling and really struggling to try and take care of their loved ones. So they just decided to have the aides come and visit more often during the week so that they can at least have a break. What I did think was interesting about a primary caregiver and their family member was that the patient was becoming so agitated in the morning that they were scratching the primary caregiver, and they chose to then increase their medications in the morning. Continuing on, the overall needs of improvement is that they need to increase more visits with the aides, with some of the patients declining more than others. Having family members getting more involved with primary caregivers and helping out with the patients to slow the decline of burnout. Educating staff and primary caregivers on memory decline and how to react to repetitive conversations, and knowing to just be patient with their loved ones and the patient itself. Finding the right medications from the recent decline of sundowning, and having the education and staff safety measures intact to help the increase of falls. Overall, this meeting was very informative, and I really enjoyed having the opportunity to be a part of it. The 2 questions that I did have are there alternative therapies to utilize like music therapy, or is this a type of agitation that needs to be medicated? And how are you helping the primary caregivers and giving them a break and slowing down their burnout? They did answer my questions during the meeting without having me to ask, and they talked about the different use of different therapies that included having the chaplain visit and food therapy, music therapy, and different activities to lower their agitation before the use of medication, as well as having the staff come and visit more to give the primary caregivers a break. It was a great opportunity to really see the insight of what goes into caregiving and how well that they are performing their care plans. I really didn't have any references and just described the meeting that happened today at 9 a.m. And I really hope you did enjoy this PowerPoint presentation.